everything began with a single cell. That cell multiplied and multiplied and multiplied. After which, the miracle of life began in the mother's womb. Billions of cells took their places just in the right location for them. To do that, the cells undertook an extraordinary journey to exactly the right place from where they first formed in the embryo. All these events took place without the slightest disorder or confusion. Some of these cells combine together to form bones, and others nerves, or the liver, or the internal structure of the stomach, or the skin, or the cornea in the eye. Whatever part of the body the cells made up, they assumed just the right size and form in the region concerned. Following which, life began with the first breath. You came into this world with a great many organs and attributes, such as a digestive system for the food you eat, hands and fingers with their unique prints, and many, many others. The reflex by which you close your eyes automatically for protection against a fast-approaching object, and many other precautionary measures, were all prepared without your knowledge and duly installed in your body. You never had to do anything to possess them. Allah, who created all these systems and installed them in your body in the most perfect form, also set up a superb command and control system, again without your being aware of it. And He keeps all things under His control in your inner world, again without your knowledge. Things taking place inside one's every cell, every breath, your brain activities, walking, growing, in short, everything that happens in the body every 24 hours over the course of one's whole life, are all under Allah's protection at every moment and take place by His will and as a result of His infinite mercy. Let us now look at a few of the miracles that take place within the human body. The ear only detects sound vibrations within a specific frequency and range. These perception limits, known as the sensory threshold, have been set for a specific purpose. If our ears were highly sensitive, then we would hear everything, from our own heartbeat to the tiny sounds given off by microscopic insects. And that would be highly uncomfortable. Yet none of this happens, and we continue with our comfortable lives. There is a special smell alphabet in our noses. That is how 1,000 smell receptors can detect more than 10,000 smells. The more that evaporation takes place, the more sharp and distinct the smell that arises. Under the effect of heat, scent molecules begin moving freely in the air, and it can spread over a wide area. The environment you are in now contains substances such as stone, iron, and glass. But these have no smell, because these substances do not evaporate at room temperature. But let us pretend for a moment that everything in your room does have a smell. It is obvious just how uncomfortable that would be. But that never actually happens. Because, as in every system in our bodies, our Lord, the infinitely merciful and bountiful, has created scent perception in a manner compatible with our own comfort. The human eye is created to be highly protected and strong. One of the most sensitive structures in the eye is the cornea. The cornea always has to be transparent and very sensitive in order to be able to make bodies out clearly. Because the moment it loses its transparency, the image will blur since not enough light can enter. The cornea consists of nerves, fibers, and lymphatic vessels invisible to the naked eye, but these do not impair the image. If the clarity of the cornea were not fully established, then one would never see a clear image, and everything would always be blurred. In that event, the world would of course be very different to how it is now, and it would be as if we looked at everything through a murky screen. The way we see everything so clearly, despite looking at the world through a tissue consisting of blood vessels and fibers, is a great blessing and an example of the artistry of Allah. It is essential for our survival for the levels of sugar in our bodies to remain within specific limits. But you cannot calculate this balance as you eat sugary foods in your day-to-day life. The calculation is done for you. Certain cells calculate the level of sugar in your bloodstream many times over, and thousands of cells are constantly at work to balance that level. When the level of sugar in your blood rises, an organ known as the pancreas releases a special substance known as insulin. This substance commands liver and other cells in the body to absorb and store more sugar from the blood. The level of sugar in the blood thus never approaches dangerous proportions. Not only do you have no control over the pancreas and insulin, you are also quite unaware of them in your daily life. Human beings who could otherwise easily die from a sugary piece of food thus remain alive by means of this matchless protective system installed in them by Allah. Capillary vessels carry substances such as oxygen, energy, nutrients, and hormones to all the cells in the body. The total length of the 5 billion or so capillary vessels in the body is 950 kilometers. If we put 10,000 of the thinnest capillary vessels in the body side by side, their total thickness would be that of the lead inside a pencil. The blood is able to move through such delicate vessels without clogging, is by means of the high velocity of water. If that viscosity were just a little lower, then the presence of the system would serve no purpose at all. All these checks and balances are a great blessing from Allah. If human beings had to check and monitor their own bodies all the time, it would be impossible for them to do anything else. But as a manifestation of our Almighty Lord's love and compassion for us, He has created our bodies in such a way that we do not have to manage them all the time. I seek refuge in Allah from the accursed Satan. It is He who forms you in the womb, however He wills. There is no God but Him, the Almighty, the All-Wise. Surat Al-Imran 6. He is Allah, the Creator, the Maker, the Giver of form. Surat Al-Hashar 24. Was He not a drop of ejaculated sperm, then a blood clot which He created and shaped? Surat Al-Qiyamah 37-38.